Hello and welcome to this video. We'll be looking at question tags together. Now, you know what a question tag is, don't you? You don't know what a question tag is, do you? Now, those were two examples of little questions, little tags at the end of my statements. Now, why did I add those little question tags? I was expecting a comment, a reaction. So it's something we use a lot in spoken English. That is when we use question tags. In spoken English, when we're asking another person to comment on the statement we've just made, if we've simply decided to get a reaction or a comment at the very last minute. It's warm today, isn't it? So we just add a little tag, a question tag, to transform a statement into a question. That is when we use question tags. Now, how do we create question tags? Well, generally, if our statement is positive, it is warm today, my tag, my question tag will be negative, isn't it? It is warm today, positive, isn't it? A negative question tag. What if my statement is negative? Well, then we would expect to see a positive question tag. For instance, it isn't cold today, is it? My question is positive, is it? So that is the general rule, the general form. So we'll see that there are very few, but there are, unfortunately, some exceptions. So let's look at how to create my tag, how to create my question based on the tense used in my statement. So let's say I have the present, so the simple present of to be in my statement, whether positive or negative. It generally means that my tag has to be the simple present of to be. Okay, that's the rule. Example, today is warm. Here we have the present of to be. So in my tag, I will need the present of to be in the opposite. So if it's positive, which it is here, it has to be negative and vice versa. Today is warm, isn't it? Now here, as you can see, we're using a pronoun. We're not going to say today is warm, is not today. We have to replace today by it, by a pronoun, okay? So first rule, tense being present simple, with to be, I have to use the present of to be in my tag. Number one, today is warm, isn't it? The other form, negative and positive, today isn't cold, is it? Number two, present of other verbs. So if we have in our statement a simple present of any other verb other than the auxiliary to be, we will use the present, so the simple present of to do. For example, you understand, don't you? You understand, don't you? And if I had negative, I would say, you don't understand, do you? Positive. Third tense, the present continuous. So if I have the present continuous, in my tag I have to use the present of to be. For example, he is listening, isn't it? If I have a negative statement, it isn't raining, is it? Positive tag. Fourth tense, if I have the past, the simple past of to be, I have to have the simple past of to be in my tag. For example, he was here, wasn't he? And if I have a negative statement, he wasn't here, was he? Positive tag. Fifth scenario, past of any other verb, so other verbs other than to be. I will have the past of to do. He told you, didn't he? He didn't tell you, did he? So don't forget, positive, negative, negative, positive. The following scenario, the past continuous, it means that in my tag I have to have the simple past of to be. He was leaving, my past continuous. Wasn't he? I have my simple past of to be. Another option, so the other form, negative, positive. He wasn't leaving, was he? Positive tag. Next one, the present perfect. Now the present perfect has another auxiliary. It has the auxiliary to have. So in our tag we're going to use the simple present of to have. Our example is, he has left, hasn't he? Or if we want a negative and positive, he hasn't left, has he? Positive tag. The penultimate example, the past perfect, I will need the simple past of to have in my tag. It had rained, hadn't it? So So the past perfect here, hadn't it? The opposite scenario, so negative positive, it hadn't rained, had it. Final scenario, future simple, I will use will, or the negative, won't or will not. Future simple, they will return, won't they? Now negative positive, they won't return, will they? Positive. Okay, so watch out, don't forget to use pronouns. So depending on what you have here, we're using pronouns in most of the examples. We could have used other things such as the child is listening, isn't he or isn't she? So don't forget to use pronouns. Punctuation, although we said that these tags, these question tags, are used in spoken English, if you want to write a tag, if you want to maybe add it to a dialogue or something that you're writing down, don't forget to use a comma and a question mark at the end. Very important, the punctuation. And finally, watch out for modal verbs and imperatives because they do not use the same auxiliaries, they just repeat themselves. If I use a modal such as must, he must know, mustn't he? I'm going to use the same modal in my tag. So that's why it's slightly different. And the imperative, well, the imperative, if it's a positive statement or a negative statement, I can choose whether to use negative or positive afterwards. It doesn't have to be positive, negative, and negative, positive. An example of that would be, don't forget, will you? So there, I'm using a positive, a negative statement, don't forget, and a positive question, but I could also say, let's go, which is positive, and use a positive question, shall we? Let's go, shall we? So be careful with the modals and imperatives. It's like, I'd say, a bit more advanced, so get some practice with the interactive exercises. And that's about it for today. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.